If you've been following along on our Airstream adventures, you know all about our RV home. But something we don't talk about much is Sulley. Since we're going to be traveling from Park City, Utah to Denver, Colorado over the next couple days, we figured we would take this time to tell you all about her.
Sulley is a 2020 Ford F250 with the Lariat package. We went with the 6.7 liter V8 diesel engine, and let me tell you, it comes with a 10-speed transmission. It is a dream pulling up and down mountains, and it has saved us on more than one occasion. We decided to go with the crew cab option, which gives you not 2, but 4 doors, in case we want to bring company along with us. We also decided to go with the shorter bed option. There's a much longer bed option that I think comes in around 8 feet. This is around the 6-foot size. This beautiful blue color is called Velocity Blue, and we opted for the black interior leather. Now there's a ton of features that come standard with the Lariat, but we're going to talk a little bit about some of the optional equipment that we opted for. And in case you miss any of this, we're going to include an entire spec list in the description below. We're going to give you the MSRP prices. Obviously, if you're there at the dealership negotiating, go for the lowest price possible, but at least you'll have a starting point. The 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel clocks in at around $10,495. Again, that's MSRP. Another thing we've added to the truck is the FX4 package, which comes with some skid plates. And since we have a 4x4, it's nice to be able to have that option when you're going off-roading. Another couple of things that we added were some chrome options. There's a chrome package that comes in around $1,100 after the retail price of the vehicle, and also these 20-inch rims. Honestly, we just wanted them because they were pretty and they matched the rest of the aluminum on the truck. Now I'm going to tell you about some of the inside specs, but first we've got to hook up because it's almost checkout time and we're running a little late.
For the first leg of this travel trip, we're headed to Rawlins, Wyoming, just for a one-night stay. Since we're running a little bit behind this morning, we'll tell you all about Sulley and her amazing tow features when we hook her up at the next campground to head to Denver. If you follow many conversations about RV life, you know that a tow vehicle is a very popular conversation. And some people have even asked us, is our Ford F250 really overkill for our classic Airstream? After all, fully loaded, she can only really weigh about 10,000 pounds. But we're going through the mountains today, which is a really darn good reason to have a Ford F250. Because while all these other trucks on the right side of the lane are having a little bit of trouble getting up the hills, we are breezing right past them with no problem.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a Ford F250, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be a diesel. As long as your truck is a 3/4 ton, whether it's Chevy or GMC or something else, that's all that really matters. Think about it like this. If your tow vehicle doesn't weigh very much, but you're towing a ton behind you, if you're going down a mountain, that trailer you're towing can be pushing you down the hill, and that's the last thing you want. Optimally, what you'll want is a heavier truck. Just basic physics. Heavy truck can handle heavy trailer. One of the really cool features that we got with the truck that definitely wasn't something we were looking for, but it came with this particular color truck, which is very hard to find, was this moonroof. And besides the fact that it brings in a lot of natural light, I keep my GoPro mounted on top, and occasionally I get worried that it's just gonna fly off when I'm going down the highway. So it's kind of nice to see it while we're driving too. One of the things that I sprung for initially, because I was kind of terrified of towing, was the backup assist feature. I learned how to back up manually without that technology to start because that's something that I personally wanted to do. And now that I have, I don't think I'll ever use that feature.
In fact, we've never even set it up. But now that I'm driving a little bit more, maybe we'll set it up in the near future. We'll keep you updated on that one.
One of the things I wasn't certain that I needed, but came with this model truck, was 4x4. And in all honesty, we've already found a situation where we've actually needed to use it. We were on an uneven plain and there was some loose mud due to the rain, and the tires were spinning. So the fact that I can engage 4-wheel drive allowed us to easily get out of that situation.
Since I've only recently just started towing with the Airstream, and most often I'm the passenger seat, the things that I love most are kind of simple but really lovely. One of the things that's available with the Lariat package is the heated and the cooled seats. And considering we're constantly chasing the best weather, you'd think we wouldn't use them, but we pretty much use them all the time. And I pretty much use the passenger seat like a mobile command center. So it's awesome that I've got a plug for my computer, nice little compartments to store my stuff, a lot of memory cards go in there, and it's just a really comfortable ride. We just checked in with our campground and are getting settled in, but this place might be the cutest ever. It's family owned. It's called RV Red Desert Rose Resort, but they gave us Andes mints to put on our pillow. That's probably the cutest welcome gift we've ever seen.
All right, now that we're both well rested, it's time to leave Wyoming and head over to Colorado. When you're traveling as much as we do, and you're hitting as many campgrounds as we do, connecting and disconnecting and being as efficient as possible is key. So there's a lot of things that I've done in preparation for this process. First off, I'll give you a little sneak peek on what the back seat looks like and what I store in the back seat. Now, while it's very easy, and we've been guilty of this before, to fill up the entire back seat of this crew cab, we have a rule that the only things that will go in the back seat are things that we're going to use when we first hook up. For instance, our little pets, Lois and Clark, are one of the first things that we pop into the ground as soon as we get to a new campground. I've gone and reorganized this more times than I'd like to admit, but there's a very specific reason to where everything in this cabin is placed. I've got all of my hitch pins on the driver's side, dog bone connectors as well. Anything having to do with power or sewer hookups, I'll keep on the driver's side. And the reason behind that is that all the hookups in the Airstream are on the driver's side. I like to use a torque wrench on my Airstream around every 500 miles or so. It's really just a good practice to get into. Now, it's not always easy to pull your Airstream into a gas station to access the air compressors. So having your own air compressor, I would have this as an essential product. None of the products you see here, we're not being paid by any of these brands. These are just products that I found through either research or recommendations by a lot of you, through private messages and so on. And we do appreciate all those comments. The next two things I'm gonna show you are here just in case anything should happen to go wrong while we're driving down the road. These are DOT folding triangles. And if we have a flat tire on the side of the road, this is gonna be one of the first things that I grab. The reason I keep it in the middle is so that I can access it from both sides. Another safety feature I've added are these LED road flares. The DOT triangles are great, but this is kind of like another added level of safety. These are single-use items, otherwise I would turn one on and show you what they do, but basically what they do is they create this spiraling red light on the roadways, and you can place them similar to how you would place DOT triangles. That would be super helpful at night in case of a tire blowout or any sort of mechanical failure. Thankfully, we haven't had to use any of this yet, but it's better to be safe than sorry. This is also where I keep my master lock, where I lock my surge protector. And if you don't have a lock for your surge protector, you should, because they can be a little bit pricey, and the last thing you want is somebody to steal your surge protector. That would be bad news bears. Besides just having my regular hitch pins, I bought an extra set of hitch pins because if you were to lose one of these, not great. I'm not saying that I've ever left a pin on the tailgate of a truck. It may or may not have happened, and then I was scrambling to find a pin. Don't be me. Carry some extra pins just in case.
Speaking of hitch pins, and Daniel never losing one or putting one on the back of the truck, it's probably a good recommendation not to ever even set them on the back of the truck, because you may end up with a dent like this one.
Now on the passenger side, you have another compartment under the back seats. This is where I keep a few bits and butts. The first of which, this is a lock for our generators, and this is a little bit longer than the lock that I use for the surge protector. What I'll do is I'll wire this through the two generators, and then ideally if there's a tree around or something like that, I'll wrap it around the tree as well. And this is my generator parallel kit. We'll use this when we're boondocking and we want to run the AC off of the generators.
If you haven't seen our video where our friend Cece from Lily's Organizing comes in and guts everything in the Airstream, everything in the truck, and has us pull everything out, and reorganize the whole thing, make sure to check that out. Because truthfully, for the first 8 or 9 months, this back seat looked like a nightmare. And it was only until we organized the Airstream that we were able to make this functional, organized space.
Time to hitch up.
This morning, I'm driving Sulley the first half of the trip. So, since I need a little bit more practice, or a lot of it more practice, it's the responsibility of the driver to hook up the truck. So that's what I'm gonna do. Testing.
Roger, roger. Keep coming back real slow. Keep coming back. A little bit more. About 3 inches. A little bit more. Keep coming. Stop.
Feels like $1,000,000 every time I get it. Okay, now we gotta do the hookup part.
Nope. Forgot something.
Oh, the pin. Where is it?
Let's push it straight in. There you go.
These things are heavy. Deal. Sausage.
That's good.
All right, on the road again. Lauren tows the Airstream, take 2.
So far so good. Lauren's towing for the first couple of hours. We're about 5 minutes into the drive. I'm not worried at all. Okay, it just started raining while Lauren's driving, which
First time.
not ideal, but I was talking to her about some of the tips and I thought I'd share them with you as well. It's starting to get, like I said, not ideal. But essentially visibility is going to be decreased, so you want to make sure you're giving yourself adequate room. Don't be riding somebody else's bumper, especially when you're towing 5,000 to 10,000 pounds behind you. It's going to take a lot longer to slow down than it normally would. Secondly, which is something we always do no matter what, drive with your lights on. It not only keeps the lights on for the truck, it keeps the lights on for the rig as well. Just another added safety feature. Okay, we've just reached level 3 on the difficulty scale. Rain plus construction. How you feeling?
Good. Focused.
Nice.
Hugging the side of the lane that doesn't have the construction buoys and ignoring the lines because it can't hurt anybody for me to run over the awful noise on the side of the road. Okay, we've officially stopped at a gas station. We're gonna run back to the Airstream, take a potty break, and we'll be back on the road.
Back in the driver's seat. Need to readjust my mirrors, check my tire pressure, make sure the backup camera is working properly. I use that for driving, just in case you're wondering, and we should be good to go. Doesn't really matter what kind of truck you have. Sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic after driving all day is awesome. Not really. It's miserable, but you know what? You just have to make the most of it. The weather's nice. It's no longer raining. Getting to spend some quality time with Lauren in the truck while we progress at 5 miles an hour. Yeah. We're in the final leg of our trip and we're going through the mountains right now. And I'm so thankful to have a 3/4 ton truck. I mean, legitimately, it makes going up this mountain relatively easy. I'm not gonna say it's completely easy, but it's just nice knowing that I'm not on the struggle bus right now, because the last thing you need is struggling while you're going up a mountain range. And just as I was talking about going up a mountain, now we're going down the mountain. This is only a 7% decline. We've seen some that were, we've seen some that were as high as 16%, and I know there's grades that are even steeper, but really, it's been great overall. And again, it doesn't have to necessarily be a Ford, but a 3/4 ton truck, highly, highly, highly recommend for safety reasons.
We made it to Denver, safe and sound, and are all set up, but it looks like it could start pouring down rain any minute. Therefore, it's gonna be kind of hard for us to show you the back of the truck. So we're gonna do that in the morning.
All right, it's a beautiful morning at the campground. We're actually at 9,000 feet here, Colorado, pretty high. But most exciting part is I'm gonna walk you through what it looks like in the back of the truck and how I organize and store things. What I've installed is called Retrax, and it's retractable and lockable truck bed cover. Now, since we store some things that are highly valuable, for example, the generators, I like to know that I can lock it and keep things safe. One of my favorite things about this truck bed, check it out. Mostly because I don't have to jump in and out of the truck bed. I can just walk up on the step. I'm not sure exactly what you call these steps, but highly recommend. One of the first things I'll show you in the bed of the truck is this mat. The idea is that we can put this mat out. It covers a huge space outside of the RV, so we can step out of the RV in like our socks. We don't have to worry about stepping on rocks and things like that. And sand sifts right through it. I have two main bins in the bed of the truck. I have one that's dirty, where I keep Magnum PIG, our Sulley peg. I keep our sewer hoses and all of the bits and bobs that go with the sewer hookup. That's this one right here, the red Craftsman container. When I'm thinking about the bed of the truck as a whole, this back 25% portion represents my dirty zone. So besides having the Craftsman dirty bin with all of my sewer hose hookup stuff, I also have my sewer tracks placed right next to it. That way it keeps it from mixing with all the other items in the back of the truck. I also have two plastic bins, and I use them for two completely different things. This first bin actually lives in the interior when we're transporting the Airstream from place to place. This is where we have all of our packing supplies and things like that. But, of course, when we get to our location, once we pull all of our packing supplies out, we put them back in this plastic container and throw them in the bed of the truck. And this is my clean container. This is where I keep my hose, my water pressure regulator, and my Y adapter for the spigot. Now, one of my and Lauren's all-time favorite things that we travel that's maybe more of a luxury, I'm not exactly sure, you tell us, because I know a lot of people have small Dysons and vacuum cleaners. We carry a shop vac, and it is awesome. If you're camping outdoors, wet dry vac is pretty awesome to have. And this right here, this is definitely something I would consider a luxury. If you can find room for this, awesome. It's a collapsible hammock stand, and we've got a couple of hammocks. We've got one for the stand, we've got one that we can hang from a tree as well. If you're camping full-time, or even if you're camping part-time, definitely get yourself a hammock, because lounging around in a hammock is pretty awesome. The thing you'll notice that I have here that I didn't own before the Texas freeze is a collapsible ladder. And the reason I now own a collapsible ladder is because during the freeze, snow accumulated on our solar panels and our batteries wouldn't charge. And I had no way of getting up there. Now I know, and now I'm gonna be prepared with a collapsible ladder. There's something I do want to say about this. It's pretty heavy. It's a lot heavier than probably looks on video right now. It's got some weight to it. So, just something to note. I opted for Craftsman tools because, obviously, go America. So here's just a few of the tools that I carry with me at all times. And here I've got a variety of tapes. I've got blue painter's tape. I've got Gorilla tape because, I mean, seriously, y'all should always have some Gorilla tape or duct tape on hand at all times. I've got some VHB tape. I use this to mount some things on both the inside and the outside of the Airstream. I've got some electrical tape. And I've also got some basic 3M tape for some of the lighter objects.
So basically, as an RVer, have all the tape.
I've got a little bit of silicone sealant. I use this to attach our Ring doorbell. You're constantly weathering the outdoors, and sometimes the locks get a little stiff, so carrying some lock fluid, highly recommend. Measuring tape, absolute essential. Hammer, because you never know when it's gonna be hammer time. And, of course, a screwdriver with the various tips. Okay, now I'm gonna show you one of my bigger bins where I keep all of our essential fluids. I always carry a small bottle of DEF. This right here is Aldi fluid. This is what the heating system in the Airstream Classic takes and it's very hard to find. I was lucky enough to find a bottle, but if I were you and you had an Aldi system, definitely try to locate or source a bottle like this and carry it with you at all times. I try to burn through all the fuel within the 3-month period anyways, but just in case, I always add a little bit of fuel stabilizer. Also carry some yellow antifreeze, windshield washer fluid, got my chamois, my washcloth, my drying towel, and this is pretty cool too because space is valuable. Keep in mind that a lot of campgrounds, you can't just like set up shop and start washing your RV. You have to check with the campground. And a lot of them will specify it in the instructions they give you at check-in. If you have an RV and you're traveling through all the different elements, you're going to experience some rust. It's just a thing. So because of that, I carry my little kit, a little bit of sandpaper, some high-performance enamel, and when I get a chance, I'm gonna knock it out. I haven't done it yet, but I will. The most important things in the entire bed of the truck. And if you've seen our Texas video, you know why. Two 5-gallon gas cans. One is for regular gas, and we use this for our generators, you see directly behind me. The second is for our truck. So this is diesel, this is your regular fuel here. Both 5-gallon gas cans, and before all of your recommendations, we didn't even own these things, so thank you for that. One of the things you'll notice right away is I took the heaviest components and I moved them closer to the cabin. That keeps all the weight away from the truck hitch entirely. The very last thing in the bed of the truck that we have not covered yet are these two 2,000-watt cat inverter generators. Lauren doesn't particularly like them that much because she thinks they're loud, even though they're inverter generators. The bottom line is, in a pinch, we've got two 2,000-watt inverter generators that we can use to power the air conditioning when we're boondocking. Now that you've seen everything that I have in the back of my truck and how I organize everything, I love, love, love to see what you carry on your adventures because we're learning as we go and we're always evolving this process. So leave a comment below and let us know what you're packing when you're traveling. And with that, we'll bring our 360-degree tour of Sulley and everything that we carry with us as full-timers to a close.
Until next time, my friend, make sure to wander local this week. It's good for the soul.